Well, my premonition came true. Fortunately, I shot the video on March 9th and posted it a couple days later. It was about the major earthquake that was coming. And yesterday, yep, we had a 7.4 in Japan. And I also, in my premonition, had an aftershock. Now, as of right now, that hasn't happened. But let's see what happens. I have something really interesting to share with you. We're going to talk about the extraterrestrials and the big changes that are going to be happening. And I'm going to share some really cool stuff with you. We are in control of that future. But I want to prove to you why some of these things don't have to come to pass. If you're listening to fearful stuff out there, then you need to come to my channel. I'm going to share some really cool things with you. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. Do you know, we struggle with every challenge. We're fearful of it. We actually create it. When you go into fear, you're actually focused and focused on the very thing that you are fearful of. You know, financial issues, relationship issues, health, all of it. Why are we afraid of things? We came here on this planet to experience that. And the more we realize that we're in control of it, the less we have to experience it. So it doesn't just go away. It goes away only when we decide it's not a problem anymore. Life is difficult. When you know this and you accept this, it stops being difficult. You realize the matrix that we created here to experience is full of challenges. Now, if we were in a utopian future, we'd be bored out of our brains. We do that when we leave our bodies. And if we created that here, it's like, well, why are we doing it here? We do that, you know, on the other side. We have a thought and something appears. Now, let's talk about a couple things. First of all, I had my premonition. I had a very vivid dream that I shared with you in that video. If you want to look that up, you can. And I talked about a very big earthquake that happened and that, you know, basically everybody was okay. Now, I saw as of today, 4 people did die, but over 100 are injured. So that's pretty good statistics. So I really got that message very clear that it was not a big, you know, massive, death toll. There was an aftershock, though. So today we're going to see if, let's see, what's the date today? Okay, today's the 17th. I had to look it up. So let's see if we do, in fact, have a pretty big aftershock. Pretty likely, right? But I want to just share something with you about what's going to be happening in our future. Now, I shared with you we have what's called the Boomerang Effect. That is the challenges that we came here for. Instead of avoiding and being afraid and saying it shouldn't happen, it's the program. That's what we came here to do, is to master that. Oh, here it comes again. I'm going to master that. But we continue acting the same way, expecting a different result, right? That's insanity, according to Einstein. So what's happening now? I see great change in the response to the same issues that we've had for centuries. I'm seeing new responses that are not the same old struggle and battle against. You get this? What do you get? Right? I see things changing. Now, I want to share something with you, because if you've been looking at predictions out there, I know you are, because YouTube influencers, we watch the analytics. We see where people are going. They want to know what the future is, yet they are creating the future. Here's the good part. The boomerang effect, because we are responding differently, we haven't mastered this yet, but we're getting pretty good at it, right? I'm seeing some very positive things. And that is not going into conflict. Economy's starting to go down. People aren't just sitting there going, woe is me, you're the problem. They're saying, you know what, I'm going to go create my own business. I'm going to get my skills. You guys see me promote the heck out of this all the time. I'm creating my own happiness, my own abundance, all these things. So we're starting to take charge as individuals who then are contributing to the collective. This is all shared. We're one energy field. So, but you get to, as an individual, experience what it's like to be your own person. Now, these predictions out there. I actually looked one up because I thought it was pretty funny, you know, that people are saying that they have been in the future and what does it look like. Well, I could sit and make that up all day. These people, by the way, are dead now. And what does that mean? You know, the future, we can predict anything we want, and then, you know, I can pass away and you know, nobody would know, and I'd get a lot of views on my channel. But here's what happened. I saw a video. I'm not going to say the guy's name because I don't want to give him a bunch of, you know, attention that I don't think is very positive, of actually a really beautiful future. But the population was very small. Okay, big whoop, you know, that's probably going to happen eventually. We can't keep going at this pace. Certain events may happen. We don't know what those are. But he predicted between now, actually it was like 20 years ago, and that time period, which is actually a few hundred years in our future, we aren't going to be here for it, unless we come back. He predicted things and none of them have happened. And we are actually right at the brink of the time period when this was supposed to happen. None of it happened. Now he's dead. So, okay, great. You know, oh, is this going to happen? Oh, you know, we've seen the maps of the floods and whatever. I guarantee you right now, at some point, that's going to happen. Why? Because every planet has its own lifespan. Let's put aside, we talk about global warming. What about the fact that the planet evolves just like we do? We get older, things wear out, you know, and erupt. And so the planet's no different. She has a life cycle of her own in the material world. And so you're going to see changes and evolution. It has been through it before. Ice ages and all kinds of other things, right? I mean, why is this such a shocker? We want things to stay the same. We want everything to be great. You didn't come here for that. So I want to share something with you that I did see. It was a really cool story from a journalist who said, by the way, which I tell you all the time, stop watching that garbage. All of it's controlled. He's a journalist. He said, all of it's controlled. And they're told what to tell us. So they're driving our thoughts and beliefs. And so you got to shut it down, because if you don't take control of your own thoughts and beliefs, you're allowing somebody else to control your future, and none of it's good, right? They like to keep us in this nice little neat space where we're in fear and, you know, we're not taking control. We're not empowering ourselves and doing it in a peaceful way, by the way. You know, we want that new earth to accelerate. So he shared that we were talking about extraterrestrials here now, because our future is going to include them, because they're so advanced, millions and millions of years more advanced than our little baby planet here. And so they cannot interfere with us. They would have by now if they could, because they wouldn't have allowed us to destroy the planet the way we have, and each other. So they stood back. But when we're ready to be invited into our galactic neighborhood, hello, trillions of galaxies, you think there's somebody else out there and more advanced than us? Please, they better be more advanced than us. And so they do have amazing things for us waiting if we're ready for it, but we cannot continue to act the way we are now in violence and fear, right? Fear, you know, I teach breaking through fear. If we're still in this mode of thinking, then it's not going to work. The two won't work. We're going to use things like we did to create a bomb instead of, you know, healing the planet. So they're waiting for that. But here's what they're doing. So we see more and more of craft, and, you know, even the military's allowing this to sneak out. Oh, like, yeah, oh, the government now all of a sudden is letting these videos sneak out of fighter jets following these spacecraft. Oh, wow, how did that happen? Everything's planned. Why? Because they think that maybe we can handle it now, because we're figuring out this stuff's here anyways, we're seeing it ourselves. But why are we seeing so much of it? Well, this journalist said that there was in the rainforest, when they were, of course, you know, clearing things out, ran into a really very archaic, well, you could say archaic, but pretty cool tribe that was living totally isolated, had no clue what was going on out there. And they realized that they would totally freak them out and interfere if they stepped in, especially with all of our technology. So they would appear like up in the distance and you know, no weapons, nothing like that. And they would wave at them, and they would slowly come in closer and closer and closer to get them used to seeing them, knowing that they're not going to harm them, you know, and getting closer till they eventually, after a very long period of time, introduce themselves, you know, with gifts and whatever. That is what, and this gentleman said this, that is what the ETs are doing. They're just now saying, and they were here before, because when we were, you know, cavemen kind of mentality and not really up on things, if they'd have showed us any of the technology that we have now, we'd have been going, oh my gosh, yet we have it now, right? A picture on a phone, I can talk to somebody on the other side of the world. Think about this. A few hundred years ago, you'd say, oh, those are people from another planet, yet it's just really us. It's just the same technology, it's just, you know, years down the road, we'll be doing the same stuff they are. But we're acting like, you know, we're so fearful of that power we think that they wield. And they are in a different space of peace. Now, yeah, they've got their own stuff going on. Of course they do. But obviously not as violent as we are. We fire at them every time we see them. Why? We don't even know who they are, and we're already shooting. It's our airspace. We don't own anything, all right? That's such a load of hooey. Our space. We're going to dominate. Good luck with that. So what I want to share with you is that I believe that they're introducing themselves more and more and more to let us know they're there, to get us used to the idea that they're not threatening us, that they could be a great, you know, positive influence to us if we allow it, that obviously they have high-level technology, and they're demonstrating that with some of their maneuvers and things, which allows us to recognize that maybe they got some cool stuff, technology, that we could use and that doesn't destroy our planet. All right, and different ways, but they're just acclimating us to that. So that's a future that will exist for us if we can let go of the fact that no one is really a threat. Until somebody does something, which is going on right now, and demonstrates that they're still in such dense ego that they need to control and, you know, do power plays with, you know, destruction. I mean, that's really, if you think about it, a very small percentage of what's going on our planet. And everybody else, of course, is not supporting this, right? And not reacting in the same way back. And that's when we get in trouble. So even though you see these things happening that appear to be very negative, they're really not. They're the same things coming back to us with the boomerang effect so that we can respond differently and create that new world, that new earth. Now, if you saw, I did a, you know, a matrix shift video, and I saw that YouTube put the Wikipedia explanation of the Great Reset because it was in my title, which is what was supposed to happen. It was a group that came together, of officials, came together to create a new society and economy after COVID. So it is happening, and I do believe that some of it's going to be, you know, the same old trying to control us, but not if we don't allow it. Right? If you're not eating, somebody said, why are children, well, why would a child, you know, become ill, have some kind of disease? Well, what are you feeding that child? We're walking around in a toxic planet, and we said, why would a child get sick? Let's back that up. What are you eating? What's in our food, especially here in the United States, is the worst place, you know, to eat anything. You know, even organic food can stay good for a week. It's got to have something else in it. So even that has chemicals. So if we don't start to realize how conditioned we are with that old behavior and how toxic it is, nothing's going to change. No one just gets sick. There's a reason. There's an imbalance somewhere. So I want us to focus, if you care to join me, focus on the balance of health, spirituality, and the very power that you wield that is connected. Somebody said, you know, our individual choices, they're hoping that it's more individual than, no, it's not. It's one thing. Your thought affects everything. Well, no, just a little bit. No, a lot. So I have a course coming out April 1st called Tap Into Your Power, and we go over the power. What is it? How do you use it? I give you some practices that are so simple that clarify and will get you completely away from all that negative thinking. If you guys want to sign up for Manifest Anything, you'll get that announcement. This is free, Manifest Anything. That I have 15 training videos for free there. They're going away. I'm going to have just 4. And you have to decide, you know, am I going to practice this every day, or am I going to just talk about it, complain about it? You know, they're the problem. They're not the problem. That out there is us. It's a reflection of all of us, not you, the individual. It's one power exploring every possible facet of itself. And when it masters certain things, or you counterbalance it, you balance it out by not battling again and going down. That's a, you know, double negative. Well, double negative is a positive, but you know what I'm saying is that, you know, the same response with the same response is the same response. So what do we want to do? We want to come in with love and compassion and say there's another way. This is a disturbed, fearful person. You have to be in fear to want to harm another person. You must feel like you're being threatened somehow. And it's usually the ego. It's always the ego. So how do we counterbalance that? Well, when we come together as a community and say it's not okay, remember zero tolerance? Well, if you haven't seen that video, watch it. Zero tolerance doesn't mean we don't love or care for one another, or that we're going to judge. It's not a judgment thing. It's a, this is not acceptable behavior on this planet, because as long as that's going on, we cannot change this planet and accelerate it. So we're going to show you another way. We're not going to condemn you. We're going to show you another way, and we're going to make sure that you just can't do it. Somebody said abuse of a dog in a park. I said remove the dog, and that's exactly what they did. So it's not like the focus is on you horrible person. It was like, just get the dog out of there. And then let's find out why this person would do such a thing and help them to change. You know, if addicts, you don't just like, you know, condemn them. You say, there's a program, a long program they have to go on. If you've ever been in that situation, I can't imagine. But I do know, God bless, you know, all of you who have had to go through that, and it's a really long road. And same thing with illness or anything else. This is the journey you're on. This is the human experience. It's not something negative that happens to you out there. You're creating it. You're experiencing certain things for your own personal reasons that contributes to the collective. And the better job you do with that, the more we all accelerate. And I told you that matrix is an organic thing that is 100% a reflection of us. It's not a pre-programmed thing that we're in and, we're it. We are the program. Your thought is the program. Your thought contributes to the program. So the more we go into higher thoughts, no more blame, the more we are going to go into a space of peace. All right, I'm running out of battery here. I hope you'll subscribe. You guys want to, these are free videos, launching online businesses. We are creating an amazing new world out there. And also, you know, come get Manifest Anything. Come tap into your power. Breakthrough Fears, a 5-star course. I'm going to keep teaching, teaching, teaching. That's my job. I love you. You're amazing. You're perfect. Don't ever doubt that. How can you be anything less than a beautiful, perfect, amazing light being? I mean, you're the creation of the one. You are a creation, and you create. So, you're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.